I just want to talk to you guys today, and I want to be frank and honest, okay? I really want to talk to educators. I'm looking for teachers. I'm concerned about the teachers of today. Have you been around and you hear people asking or complaining about the teachers? I'm tired of people talking about teachers. That's all I know is education. I have given over 40-something years of my life to education. But every time I look around, for instance, when I'm meeting with parents and I'm getting them enrolled to be part of our summer day camp program, they always seem to have the tendency to want to blame teachers for their children not doing well in the system. Teachers can't do everything. It's going to take all of us working together. Then, when I'm hiring teachers for my summer day camp program, then they're complaining about the parents. The parents aren't doing their job and the administration is not supporting them. Again, it's going to take all of us working together. It takes a village. You've heard that. It takes a village to raise a child. We've got to stop being isolated and blaming each other. But we need to start raising our teachers up. We need to start supporting our teachers. And teachers, I'm talking to you. Some of you will have an opportunity to see this. I need to remind you of why you became a teacher. You need to stop allowing people to make you feel bad about the profession that you chose. You already knew when you chose that you wanted to be a school teacher that you were not going to get rich. So let's forget about the money. Because if you're in this profession for money, you need to get out. You've got the wrong reason. The only reason why anybody should be interested in being a teacher is because you have a genuine heart for children. You don't care what color they are. You don't care what side of town they live on. You just care about that child. I never worried about what color or what side of town a child lived on. I was concerned about that child, and I'm still concerned about children today. I can remember when I was a sixth grade teacher at Odessa. I had a student, I won't call his name, but this child, I knew where he lived. He came to school every day, smelled terrible, and the kids would make fun of him, so he would have to fight. But I don't like that. I took care of that. The coach would meet him every morning, let him go in, take a shower. I bought him clothes. I didn't have to do that because you already know we don't make that much money. Plus, I had my own kids. I bought him clothes, deodorant, cologne, everything that he needed. And every morning when that child would come to school, he would get with the coach, go in, change clothes. On the weekend, I took his clothes home. I washed them. I had to wash anyway, so what difference did it make? I didn't want him fighting, and I did not want the other children making fun of him. He was struggling already in class. Once we started doing that, his self-esteem just shot up. He's a parent today. He brought his children over to Greater Ideal, to our summer day camp program. He is a successful businessman today. We're servants. You've got to change the way you look at yourself. People get so caught up on titles. Who cares about your title? Who cares that you've got all this money? Because if you're not concerned about anybody else, it's not doing you any good. You're just miserable with a lot of money and a bunch of titles. And as an educator, I know what you teachers are going through. You have the parents that come in. You never see certain parents until you say something or you do something to their child. Then they want to come up there, and they want to curse you out. But you got to learn how to work with that parent as well as with that child. I always had a philosophy when I was teaching. I always took time out to get to know my kids. And what I'm finding out in this generation today, when I hire summer day camp teachers, and a lot of them are young teachers, I'll interview them and ask them a question like, so how did your class go this year? And I can remember one teacher, when I asked her, how did her class go? She was a kindergarten teacher, and she said, it was hard. They give you only so many minutes to do things. And if the kids don't do the work, then you get in trouble. And even if they don't understand it, you still have to go on to the next subject. That's not the way it should be. If you're the teacher, that's your classroom, you have the right to take your time and work with that kid. And I said, so what do you do when they don't get it? She said, well, I just take their recess. Why would you take a kid's recess? Why? They've already been in that classroom with you all morning. They haven't learned the concept, and now you want them to stay in, no play, and you wonder why your child is not performing for you? See, as an educator, you first have got to take time out to get to know the kid. You have to spend some time with them. Then you have to have a little journal where you'll take time and call their parents. I used to do this when I taught school. I'm not asking you to do something that I did not do and that I still don't do. But if you ever want to be a successful teacher and you want to be proud of the profession that you have chosen, you've got to take time out to get to know your students, get to know a little bit about their parents. It didn't cost me anything to be home on the weekends while I'm washing, cooking, ironing, getting ready for the next week, just to pick up the phone, call the parents. I always want to tell them something positive about their child. If that kid just learned how to tie its shoe, I wanted that parent to know. I worked in junior high, and you know how hard that is. Nobody wants to work with junior high. Those were my best years. I enjoyed it. I was working with at-risk readers, kids who had never passed the TOS test, okay? And they would come in, and they were all excited, and they used to meet me at the door and say, what are we going to do today? Because my philosophy is a worksheet, and if that's what you guys are still working with, tear them up, throw them away. Because it never made sense to me why I had to sit there and circle an answer or draw a line to an answer. That's not challenging me. And then you wonder why they're bored, they're talking, they tapping on the desk. This is a whole new generation. You can't keep teaching the same way we were taught when we were coming up. This is a technology age. They need hands-on type activities. That's one of my rules. And if any of you are listening and thinking about applying for a summer day camp job at Greater Ideal, understand this. There will be no worksheets. Everybody knows that. You have to think outside the box. Learning should be exciting. It should be fun. It should be where you want to come back every day because that teacher's going to do something that sparks your imagination. And so, my title is, do what you can with what you have right where you are. See, stop complaining. Do what you can. Stay out of that lounge unless you're going to go in there and be that positive reinforcer. See, so many of you get caught up with teachers, especially the senior teachers. They're tired, they're worn out, and they start complaining. Gotta have a change. Midland is on the move. We are changing things here in Midland. Talking about having innovative schools, we're not going to look like that same old traditional school anymore. MISD is already getting ready to start an academic girls' school. Yay for young ladies. They're looking at doing a dual language school. And Lord knows we need it. I don't know if you people realize it or not. But the Hispanic population is the largest population here. A lot of Spanish speakers. African American, we're at the bottom. It's not that many of us. And Anglos, you just a little bit ahead of us. So if we really care about each other, why don't we take the time out to really invest in our children? All children. It should not matter what side. It should not. And I'm going to share this. It was a few years ago, I was minding my own business when I got a call from one of the funders, asking me if I would be a part of educateMidland. There was a group of 5 people that had already gotten together because they realized that it took all of us working together. West Side couldn't carry it all by itself anymore. And so they called in a Hispanic and an African American, because they wanted to know what were our needs. What could we offer that would help to pull Midland, Texas together? And that's how Educate Midland was born, because these people realized it's not just about us anymore. Our scores are down. We're terrible. We can't even get people that want to move in here with these large oil companies. But today it's changing, I'm telling you. And I'm already hearing people complain about charter schools. Why not a charter school? That's not going to kill us to have a few charter schools. I happen to have been able to be blessed to go and visit a charter school that is coming to Midland. And it's Idea. Awesome school. 100% graduating students. They doing something right. Because they've got 100% graduation rate. We don't have that. See, you got to stop thinking. When you know you don't know, don't knock anybody else down. I was so impressed to the point that I thought, I need to go back to work. I need to go to work for them. That's how, it's amazing, the structure, how they have everything lined out. Let us stop being afraid to step out and try new things. We've got to see good in everybody. Do what you can with what you have right where you are. I think sometimes as a community, we forget who educated all of us. I don't care if you're a doctor, you had a teacher to teach you. I don't care if you're the lawyer and you make more money than we do, we still taught you too. And now you want to talk about the teacher? Let me tell y'all something. There are good people in every profession, and every profession has some bad people. Yes, I've worked with some poor teachers, but we can even change that, because I even tried to change their attitudes. I tried to teach them to have a love for children, or to either get out. I love Midland, Texas. I've been here over 40 years. I came here in a boom back in the 70s. And I can remember thinking, teachers were leaving left and right, trying to make that oil money. And I even thought about it. But it was something inside of me that would not allow me to leave those children. And I am so glad that I have devoted the majority of my life to working with children. I love education. I want us all to start supporting our teachers, to stop putting them down, but let's raise them up. Let's make them feel good about the profession that they've chosen. When somebody knows that you care, they'll step out and they'll start doing more. To be a servant leader, it is a mindset. You see, service begins with a true desire to help other people, which is then followed up by action. You can't help somebody without getting involved. As an educator, you're going to have to get involved. You have to work with that child. I don't care what it takes. You taught that lesson 3 times and that child still didn't get it. Does that mean that I give up on them? No. I got to try one more time at least. Being a servant means putting the interests of others above your own. That's what teachers do. It's not about you worrying about the water bill getting paid. It's about you worrying about if that child can add 2 + 2. Ask yourself the following questions. Do you put others before yourself in the workplace, among your friends, or in your school setting? Helping other people can be a cure, not just for those who are in need, but for your soul as well. Because anytime you help somebody, have you ever noticed how good it makes you feel? Now, I didn't say do it for them. I said help them. Show them how to go about doing it. Because sometimes we hurt people. People that have money, they think all they got to do is just give you some money and that's going to fix your problem. If you don't know how to budget it, you're going to still be in the same. How you helping me? Because now I got to go stand on this corner and wait for another rich person to come by and feel sorry for it. You know what I'm saying? Being truly helpful is empowering someone else with the necessary skills to be successful. Is that not what teachers do? We should be there empowering these students to be the very best that they can. These are the future Midlanders. And if we don't give them our very best, what are we going to get? Midland will die. Sometimes lending a helping hand means taking a step outside your comfort zone. I can remember one student that I had. He was a heavyset child, obese, just flat obese. And he died. Junior high, he died. And I can remember sitting at home, and I knew the family. Well, I had met them through school. And I was thinking, it's not payday. I don't have any money, but I want to do something for this family. I looked at my refrigerator. I had a turkey. Checked my cupboard. I had some canned goods, had some bread. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to take this over there to them because I don't know if anybody else is gone. So I went over, and that was the best thing for me that day. I took it. The mother was in there. She was crying because no one had taken any food. No one had been by to visit. And that's what it means when it says you can't end up helping somebody else without it helping you, because that right there just changed my whole attitude. It made me even want to do more. I went back to school that Monday, and I was talking to the other teachers. We got some things together and took them. See, that's what I love about Midland. I don't care what they're saying about our school system right now, because we're working on it. I'm telling you, innovative schools are coming here. I love Midland because we do take care of each other. It might take us a little while to figure this thing out, that we all do need each other. African American can't do it by itself. The Anglos, you can't do it by yourself. Hispanic, it's going to take all of us working together for the good. Do what you can with what you have right where you are. Stop complaining about, I can't do this. We don't have that. And what about this? But what can you do? What can you do? Everybody in this room can do something to make a difference.